All right. Say, say you're taking mushrooms, and when you take the mushrooms, um, you feel like this half an hour, 45 minutes of like this sense of things speeding up, or that you're accelerating, or there's some kind of movement, or almost like a release, like you're getting lighter and you're gonna float, like something's coming off you, and then after that, like thoughts kind of come faster, and also the thoughts don't really seem to come from any particular place or source. Like, you're just thinking random stuff, but it's none of it's. Oh, look at this. Isn't that pretty? And but it's also the kind of thoughts that like would be worth talking about. Like, they're not just like, you know what, I like ice cream. You know, they're more deeper, more intellectual, um, more emotionally wise kind of thoughts. And while that's happening, you have a greater sense of the visual beauty of everything. Like the greens, the greens there look like paint that you could touch and just wipe off. And the sky is like vivid and alive, and it has like depth, like you could sense and see the depth to it, and almost a sense of movement to it. There's like gigantic kind of a rat. Oh, it's like a groundhog. I think it does have a tail. Yeah, it looks like a giant groundhog. Um, and this just keeps expanding until it does have a tail. And until it gets to a point, and also this feeling of like lightness and release, which feels like motion at first, like you're in motion, um, keeps growing until a point where it feels like, it seems like that you're connecting to something. And some people would say, it's some sort of spiritual something that you're connected to. And but like, say it's more like a radio broadcast. You're tuning in to like humanity for sure. You definitely feel that you're starting to pick up on if ideas, thoughts, spirits, impressions, like I like like I have an impression that this is like a calm, beautiful place, and like now I'm either receiving that, like this is a calm, beautiful place, or I'm broadcasting it. And then so like wherever you are, you get this sense of like there's calm, beautiful places in the world. And then it goes away and you're like, it's kind of a random thought, except for like it starts to feel like you could kind of tell that it's not your random thought, that you're getting information that's seemingly broadcast. And then sometimes it seems like you're tuning, you're not intentionally tuning, but that at some point in time, the broadcast, whatever the channel it gets on, seems to be information that's directly related to you. Yeah, and I was thinking about that just a little while ago. Like there's, like say Jimi Hendrix or something like that. You just think of a musician or a kind of art or something like that is just astoundingly different from its time. Like, and from out of nowhere. Like you couldn't say like, like this person is influenced by this, that, or the other thing. This person seems to be. And this person also seems to be like, dabbling in, psychedelics or what have you. So like maybe he tuned in, like he's interested in music, And then he tuned in to this station that directly related and interested his, like, whatever, like your bandwidth. Like when you make a radio, you do copper coils, and as you slide a bar along that, you'll start picking up radio stations. And if you scrape off the copper coating, they'll come in better. And then you could actually even mark, this is this radio station. So like if you're already playing lots of music, or if you think about anything, working on cars or something like that, like you've already scraped the copper wire there an awful lot yourself. And then all of a sudden, like, you connect to this broadcast that has everything in it, from other people, and you get their ideas and their inspiration, and yeah. Okay, so here's the other thing. So that takes place over a couple hours. Then there's like a couple hour lead up, or an hour or so lead up. Then a couple hours like whoa, and then like for a little bit there, you got your hand, you're touching God and talking to God in a way, and you get a sense of the connectedness, and that you're a receiver as well as a broadcaster, and then it kind of winds down, and like colors are still really, really bright and everything like that, but things chill out, and then like everything's kind of fine, not really back to normal, and then you get some sleep, and you wake up the next day and you feel tired and heavy. No, that's not bad, you're not hungover or anything like that, but a little tired and heavy. Now, so what if as we're looking out here, what if this hypothetical situation where you took mushrooms and saw all these colors were amazing, that there's layers and motion around the sky and around that plane, and that you feel connected to the birds and animals around there. And as I'm thinking about ideas and thinking about things I'd like to do, I kind of get some inspiration. What if that one moment where you feel like your hand's touching God's hand, and that you're receiving information from everybody, what if that's always the case? And what if that tiredness from the next day is the fact that the filter that I need to have to go about my daily living, to drive in traffic and to go into a store, or to work in a store for 8 hours a day, and then go home and pay bills, all those things, whatever needs that layer on top of all that stuff that's still happening. But like my brain just damps it all down to a level that I could deal with. Like I was in a restaurant once, and just everyone around me was just talking and talking and talking, and the person across from me is talking, and I'm like, how am I supposed to hear you with 30 people talking around you? And they're like, what? Like they didn't even realize, like the whole room was full of talking people, and they're talking, and I'm like, I could hear you talking, but your words, I could hear your words and 30 people's words all around us, and they couldn't. Like they knew it was, in their mind, it's a noisy restaurant, but their brain had filtered it out to where it was like a murmur in the background, and in my mind it was fucking deafening. And their brain probably does that. They probably does that extra dampening down, the extra tuning down their perception, so that they can go into a restaurant and talk to someone and not hear actual words. Like I'm describing, like, no, I'm hearing people talking. I hear what they're saying. I could tell you what people are talking about around us. Like I hear their topics, because they're all talking super loud, because it's super loud in here. And they couldn't. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that person's talking about that. Those people are breaking up. That person's mad at his kid. That person's telling riddles. So what if mushrooms affect the brain not in a way to open it up to all those things? What if mushrooms affect the brain to get rid of that callus, that tuning down, that tuning out that we all develop as we get older, because you have to, Or you'll just be like, you'll be tripping, right? You'll be, holy cow. Like seeing that that giant groundhog over there would be like this moment of like stopping and maybe crouching down and like watching its fur and seeing the sunlight glisten across it, and watch him eat and watch him check me out, look around. Like, it would be utterly fascinating. Instead, I'm like, oh look, fucking, it looks like a giant rat. No, it's a groundhog. I've never seen a groundhog with a really long tail before. I was just, I kept walking. Well, because I'm doing stuff and I gotta drive, that kind of thing. I'm kind of thinking there's something to that. I'm kind of thinking everything around me right now is just brilliantly colorful. And as I'm walking along, even talking right now, picking up on other people's ideas that have thought of something similar. So like I often feel that. It's like I'm often talking and I feel like I'm like, have I read that somewhere? And then some of it sounds familiar. I'm like, oh boy, that sounds like some things I've heard of philosophy or psychology or in Buddhism or stuff like that. I'm like, but have I read it in Buddhism? Or what psychology would I have been listening to? What psychologist would I have been listening to that said it? And I can't put my finger on it. And if you think about it enough, you're like, I still can't. So am I not remembering it? Not remembering who I was listening to or what Buddhism book I read? Or can I, like right now, as I'm talking, pick up on people who've thought about these ideas, and tons of people have thought about them, and then my brain is still receiving. It's like a dimmed down radio that's got a very low background signal. It's like picking up these ideas, and I think, well, they're my ideas. But then when you remove that massive cover off all your senses, you don't feel like they're your ideas. You feel like you're connecting to a radio broadcast of life. And you feel like you're reaching up and touching the membrane of reality. And on the other side of that is God. Anyway, that's something to think about, right?